What's up, everybody? Welcome to the EZG Podcast. I'm your host, EZG Saint. With me, as always, my co-host, EZG Uzi2. And joining us tonight, the lovely EZG Vixen. How are you guys doing?
Doing fantastic. How are you doing, sir?
I am doing great. It's good to see you guys.
You too? You too? Hey, have a good week?
Yeah, long, but, you know,
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yep, absolutely. Well, hey, until this is the full-time thing, every week is going to be long, so whatever. I had some really interesting news come about this week. Did you know that, the World Health Organization has now classified gaming to be addictive. And they have given, I know, who knew, right? But apparently they have developed some kind of classification for a disorder, and wow, he has seen the lights! So, yeah, there's that.
Well, I mean, I guess I can agree with that on some level. I don't want to work and want to play all day.
Yeah, I don't want to either. I have a drum that I prefer to bang on most of the day instead of working, and you almost broke your coffee cup there, babe. Come on, get professional with the show. Just like get your coffee cup around me. My gosh.
Well, Saint's head is all in his.
What? I'm so sorry, but apparently if the way that I'm sitting, I turn on my PC to check some data, I glow. So...
Hey, there's nothing wrong with a little bit of glow. Don't knock it. You actually look quite lovely in the bask of your luminescent PC.
Okay.
Anyways, let's talk about this, man. So, like, legitimately, what has happened is the World Health Organization got together with a bunch of other countries, and they said, here's the deal. We have determined that people can develop a disorder which makes them addicted to gaming. And some of the things that they classified as symptoms for this disorder, it's very interesting because they're things that kind of hit maybe close to home, I guess, So participating in gaming when you should be doing other life things, I guess.
Like dishes?
Like dishes. Yeah. Yeah, like when she's playing gaming and should be in the kitchen doing dishes, then...
Or making a sandwich.
Or making a
Right.
sandwich.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely.
Calm down, ladies. It was a joke.
No, it's okay. It's okay. She is our dishwasher. When we do play, she's been classified as our dishwasher.
It's true.
Yeah, it's true. But that's okay. That's not her position in life. She's a very important cog in this wheel, and we can only tease and make fun of her. Or joke with her. We don't make fun of her, but we joke with her.
Well,
about
I make
this.
fun of her.
I'm trying to dig out of a hole here, bro.
There's no getting out of this one.
You need a bigger shovel.
Help me out. Help me out, right?
Does that room have a bed in it?
Yeah.
Come into your house, buddy. So I have a little bit of an issue with this. We always talk about things that we have issues with, but I think it's BS, to be totally honest. I think that the people that they are referring to that develop this gaming disorder have already an addictive personality, and if they weren't necessarily addicted to gaming, they'd be addicted to something else, entertainment-wise, I guess. I don't know. Give us your thoughts, Saint.
I don't... I mean... Do people take it as... do people play video games too much? Yeah. I see it. I mean, I have we're both currently sitting in rooms dedicated to gaming in our house. You know what I mean? Mine's in the dark. But, yes, I probably believe that gaming isn't a form of addiction. Do I feel that it should be classified by the World Health Organization as one? Whereas now that it is classified by that, insurance companies are going to have to put it underneath on their registry as a symptom or something that it's going to have to be treated by what I can assume is therapy. I guess the same as alcoholism or sex addiction. That I don't know, if I'd go that far. But, again, I'm gonna go back to the parent thing, as I do in every episode.
Here we go. Teach your kids. You know it's coming. You know it's coming.
I mean, at some point you're gonna. I mean, if we're talking about kids being addicted to video games,
Well, when they classified it, and I think we got to go on the proper track according to the way that they define it. So we're talking about adults here, okay? And the other thing that we're talking about is a lot of this comes from the perspective of there have been many cases in the past. I mean, they go all the way back to really to 81, I think we were talking about earlier, where, you know, people were dying because of their addiction to a video game, where they were making poor health choices and poor life choices, and they were choosing to play a video game, and therefore their body incurred damage and they passed away, or these bad things happened. I think the most recent thing that kind of startled the world is there was a country in Asia, and I'm not going to give specifics because I was not able to find the actual source, but there were parents that were indicted. They had a young child that was malnutrition and died because they were so addicted to World of Warcraft. Nothing wrong with World of Warcraft. If that's your game, great, that's fantastic. But the point was that they were playing, you know, day and night, nonstop. This was the most important thing, and they let everything else in their life just go.
I mean, yeah, I guess in that sense, that's horrible. You know, there's other instances too of people passing away while gaming, doing marathon games. You know, a lot of these come out of like China and things like that. I can see where it gets to a level of like just too much. You know, people, but I don't know. You know, here it says for how they classify it, what they characterize a pattern of persistence or reoccurring game behavior. So as examples, impaired control over gaming, increased priority given to gaming to the extent that gaming takes over precedence of every other life interest or daily activity, continuation or escalation of gaming despite the occurrence of negative consequences. The behavior pattern is sufficient or severe enough to result in significant impairment in personal, family, social, education, and other areas. Yet, the other day, we read an article that said that online gaming is now becoming the #1 form of socialization among teens.
Right.
So, does this contradict the other? I mean, you have kids going online and playing, meeting people from all around the world, and not just kids, but adults too, that are living their life in this world, because, you know, maybe their real life isn't as fulfilling. You know, that can be where the problem, you know, comes from. You know, if your real world life sucks, but your online world life is pretty much anything you want it to be. I mean, you can be anybody you want to be when you're playing online. Nobody knows the difference. Nobody knows who you are, you know. You know, half the time some people may never even know your name, you know.
Right.
You know, you go by that online character, and that I can see that could be addictive to some people. You know, that side of it can definitely draw people to never want to come out of that world. Especially if you play in, you know, those role-playing type games like World of Warcraft, where it is that gigantic open world and everything matters. And, you know, you can be a level whatever mage or whatever, you know, and save the world, you know. So yeah, I definitely do see why it can be classified as an addiction. I just don't know if it's smart enough to put it out there saying that this is something that you're going to need therapy for.
So I think the issue is the dealing with those real life situations, you know, whether it be anxiety or not liking your real life. I feel like they're treating that person's solution instead of their actual what is going on. You know, we're targeting gaming as the issue instead of whatever their actual issues are. It's not an addiction to gaming, it's whatever they're actually trying to escape.
Well, it's really clear, and that gaming does chemically give you, the dopamine, the cortisol hits to your brain. You play in a game, and game designers are really good at developing systems that reward the player. And when you get that reward, you can get it emotionally. It's not physically manifested, but by all means, in your mind, you are getting some kind of reward, and chemically so. So yes, in a sense, gaming definitely could be addictive, but it's the same thing as slot machines and gambling, right? It's those things. The substance itself, the the game itself is not an addiction like a substance would be if you were talking about, chemical, nicotine, alcohol, things like that, drug use, stuff like that. But by all means, it's the same thing they talk about being addicted to your smartphone. You pick up your smartphone, you hear the ding, you grab it, you get that dopamine release, and it's like, hey, yeah. And so now I'm checking my phone every 5 minutes, hoping that, I can get that extra hit. I think that and I'm really interested to hear the mom side of it. Vixen and I have kids. Saint, you have kids. We met online. Our social, the entire EZG experience is a social experience. We have very dear, close friends that we have gotten to know over the past 15 years. And, we stay in contact and we stay in touch. Instead of going out, and grabbing some drinks, instead of going to see a ball game, something like that, we choose to get online and we interact socially. So for us as a group in our community, it really does hinge on games, but we may not be playing the same game. We may be online just to conversate and talk and advance that social interaction. But when you go to the other side of it, at what point can you say, all right, we are making bad choices by choosing to invest time in gaming itself instead of taking care of the kids or taking care of the housework or all the things that you normally take care of around here because I'm lazy and horrible?
Well, I can see that. I can see that if it impedes your everyday functions as as a parent. you know, they have it here listed in that they say that even though that it is classified now as an addiction, leading mental health experts caution repeatedly that classifying a gaming disorder creates a very high risk of misdiagnosis for patients who need it most for other problems. You know, people that don't want to leave their house because they play video games, they may not be addicted to the game itself. They could have an antisocial personality. You know, they can't interact with people in person. They have an easier time interacting with people, on screen or things like that. Kids with autism, they have that same thing, you know. But they say here that let me see if I can find it real quick. That
I just want to know if any gamers were involved in this. Like, who in the who?
Well,
is a gamer, and it's like, yeah, definitely addictive. Yeah, we gotta go ahead and just we'll write up a little notation, let everybody know. PSA, everybody, it's addictive. Yeah, like what,
Well, I mean, according to them, it's the Entertainment Software Association. So the ESA has been in contact with them. The ESA goes through it with them, to classify it as a disease. There are different levels to what it is. They're not saying that you play video games, you're addicted to them automatically. There's definitely guidelines that they're trying to set so people don't get misclassified. In it, you have to maintain. It's like for a gaming disorder to be diagnosed, the behavior pattern must be sufficient to result in significant impairment in personal, family, social, educational, occupational, or other important areas functioning, and would normally have to be evident for more or at least 12 months. So it's not like, little Timmy has been playing Fortnite for 7 hours a day, he's addicted to gaming. You have to it has to be maintained for a long period of time. And I feel that if it's done that way, and when you do, if little Timmy does go to the doctor and that doctor sees him, and if he's working with him to find out what the underlying problems are, then I can see it being an okay thing, But if you're just saying that it's just gaming, just that gaming is the problem, that's an issue. Because
I have a good feeling that a lot of the people that are like that might be opposed to gaming anyways. The ones that trigger hit, and they're trigger happy to say, oh, games are bad and all this stuff. Well, those are also the people that probably spend all of their time in the evenings and on the weekends binge watching TV. So
that's true.
At the same time, are you addicted to TV? Is it an entertainment addiction and you just fill in what your source is, be it movies, TV, different types of gaming or whatnot?
Well, I feel that this current generation is definitely addicted to the screen. Mm-hmm. Whether it be your video game, whether it be your phone. I mean, phones are I feel that a phone addiction probably should be more, classified first. However, I guess you can play video games on your phone too nowadays. So I maybe if it's all generally grouped underneath of it, then I would feel better about it. The way it's worded just makes it seem like video games is the devil.
Right.
It adds more to the, video games are the problem.
Right.
Video.
The problem, again, we know, and we've already been down there, and we'll probably kind of hash this over and over again. Lack of discipline. Lack of personal discipline, lack of life management skills. The fact of the matter is that there are, and I will never take away from the people that are suffering from legitimate addictions or legitimate diagnosis. But that lack of accountability is way too easy to say, oh, he's addicted to gaming, well, okay, when's the last time somebody has held him accountable for what he should be doing or what she should be doing in life, and really stepped up to try to help somebody out? Because we've all been there, we've all taken the easy route, and that's kind of tough to stand up. And you find a lot of these issues, and a lot of the overwhelming issues are underneath the surface. They're always going to be. You talked about seeing people that had the social anxiety. Yes, that's a crippling issue that needs to be fixed, and it doesn't have anything to do with self-discipline. They just might be finding that outreach in gaming. Maybe somebody that's working with them could use gaming in that environment as not a crutch, but a tool to help that person overcome some of those crippling anxieties.
Yeah, and that's true. And like I said, going back to, the age range on things, I feel that, if you're a child, if your kids, all they do is spend every waking moment on that screen, then that's a problem. And the parent needs to do more to limit that. That's the parent's job. Don't classify, oh, he's addicted to gaming, he's addicted to these games, these violent games. You can't say that. You have to do more as a parent to shut that down, make him go outside, make them do other things, But nowadays, in this generation, parents now, they use that as the babysitter.
So what about adults? So Vixen has been in charge of the two biggest kids in the world for the past 6 years. So what are your thoughts on the adult side of the gaming process? Am I an addict?
I feel like it comes down to self-discipline. You could be addicted to anything to escape adult responsibility, whether that be going out and having drinks with friends, playing basketball, a sport. If you're a kid, I think it's about
Warhammer
time management. And okay, do your kids need to be fed? Does your laundry need to be done? You do it, and we as adults find ways to do those things and still play video games. I think it's the person and not the game.
I'm guilty of this as well. I'm guilty. I'm on the fence with it. I just don't know if it's classified as an addiction.
But for a span of 12 months.
There's
we've been doing it for like 15 years.
No,
we've been doing it for 13 years. I don't even talk about, but
humans and your health and your responsibilities.
Well,
not going to work. Still adults.
Yeah, in fact, in the background, you hear a baby velociraptor.
Yes.
That would be our daughter.
Locked
She's
in the
supposed
cage.
to be in bed and asleep right now. Are we bad parents trying to shoot a podcast when our child we thought was in bed and asleep? And she's in there like screaming, running around like crazy? Are we horrible? No, we're parents. That's part of the way that it works. It's like you can't consistently baby your kids. You also can't get them to shut up sometimes when you're trying to shoot, a video. Hey, whatever.
Look, I'm not gonna lie. There's been, I did video game did me constantly gaming back in the day when I was, playing competitively, maybe lead to help in the
absolutely
help in the
gaming.
Shut up. Help in help in the downfall of my marriage and yes, probably.
No, I disagree.
No, I don't necessarily disagree with it.
I disagree.
There's a part of it. Now,
the fact of the matter is, okay, so you gaming and her not was the problem, but she didn't try to game.
No,
this works.
No, and that's the thing. I understand that, but I did play a lot back then. You know what I mean? I was playing every day. I was sitting in that little corner of the room, and I was focused on what we were doing. Focused on those games, trying to be, make pro and trying to be the best I could be. And sometimes, hey, can you do this? Hey, do this. All right, after one more game, or I'm in a game. That's a constant thing. And I see it now. Like my kids will do it too. When my kids are playing, hey, do something, do this, take the trash out, do this. All right, after this game, but I can't.
The same thing can be said for TV.
It can be said for anything.
I'm in the middle of my show. No one calls during Game of Thrones.
Yes, it can be said for anything, and that's what I'm saying. Like everything can be it. As kids, parents need to do more to, mediate that gameplay, mediate the time that they play. I understand that is perfectly acceptable. Is every kid going to grow up to be famous in gaming? Nope.
Absolutely not. And we're going to talk about that pretty soon.
Are some kids out there really good, and can they do it? Yeah. Is it a grind? It is a grind. Kids that that are like that, they have to play as much as they can. But they also have to have that social life outside of it, or they'll never succeed in anything. Adults that do it. If you spend all your waking moments in an internet cafe playing whatever, to the point where you're so malnourished that you have a heart attack, you had an underlying issue. There are underlying issues in all of that. You are just not. It's not just specifically addicted to gaming. There is other stuff going on that needs to be addressed in order to address everything. And if medical institutions are willing to address all those underlying issues that come from that, then yeah, that's a good thing. I can understand it.
Well, I tell you what, we got to close up because we are running really short on time here. But we just want to reach out and say, look, from our family to everybody listening, we definitely want the best for you. We want you to enjoy your gaming experience. That's why we're here. We help do that. And we want, anyone that thinks they might have an issue with this, whether it is legitimately a gaming addiction or anything else, please reach out to someone and get some help. There are a lot of great organizations out there that will definitely help you get on the right track. And then you can return back to gaming and, enjoy it for what it is. It is a pastime. You can get involved in the gaming community and it becomes a little bit more. But by all means, take care of yourself. And your health is always got to come first. Your family's got to come first. Saint, I appreciate everything you do, buddy. Vixen, thanks for hopping in and talking with us a little bit tonight. And we're going to catch you guys next time.
All right, guys. Yeah, I mean, it was a good talk, and hopefully, it'll help somebody else out there. Everybody, thanks for joining us. Check out all our links; they'll be below this video, and we'll see you next time.